She told me, what if he has another woman?
I'm a busy mom of two.
Yes.
I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And when I started thriving, my youngest was 6 months old and my oldest was 2. I was nursing. I was extremely exhausted. On top of that, I was working 2 jobs because I financially needed to. And if anyone wants their husbands to do something, buy them Thrive with Burn and leave the house for a couple hours. I came home, Chris had no choice.
Let me ask you something, and I need you to really think about this before you scroll past. If your best friend went missing tonight, how long would it take before you noticed something was wrong? Not the police, not the neighbors, not some random coworker. You, the person who knows her flip-flop size, the person she calls at 2 a.m., the person who flew across an ocean and gave up 2 months of their life just to make sure she healed right. How long? Because Christina Meacham, she didn't need a detective badge. She didn't need a crime scene. She didn't need a confession. She needed about 30 seconds on the phone. And what she said in that call, oh family, what she said in that call is the reason we are here today. So before I play you anything, drop your location in the comments right now. Where are you watching from? I've got family tuning in from all over the world, and I want to see you. Type your city, your country, whatever you're comfortable with. Let's see how far this family reaches. Now, I have to talk to you about something personal first. And I know some of you have been waiting. Some of you have been messaging me, checking in, asking about my parents' case. Family, something is moving. I can't say everything, not yet. The timing has to be right, and I have to be smart about this. But what I will tell you is, there is a lead, a real one. And when I'm ready to bring it to you, this family, you will be the first people on this earth to know. So if you're not subscribed yet, I'm gonna need you to do that right now. Not for me, do it because you don't want to miss that video when it drops. Because that video, it's gonna change everything. Type "I'm praying for you" in the comments if you've been following my parents' story. I read every single comment, every single one. And on the nights when this work gets heavy, and trust me, it gets heavy, those comments are what keep me going. Okay, let's set the scene. It is August 13th, 2018. Shannan Watts landed at her home in Frederick, Colorado at approximately 1:48 in the morning. She had just come back from a work trip in Arizona. She was 15 weeks pregnant, she had 2 little girls sleeping upstairs, and she walked into her house for the last time. By the time the sun came up, she was gone. Now here's what most people focus on. They focus on Chris. They focus on Nicole Kessinger. They focus on the confession tape, the plea deal, the prison letters. And yes, we've covered all of that. We're gonna keep covering all of that. But today I want to zoom in on something that doesn't get enough attention. The first 24 hours. Specifically, the phone calls. Because when Nicole Atkinson showed up at that house and couldn't get in, when that latch was on and those flip-flops were sitting outside that door, she started making calls, and the police started making calls. And Chris Watts? Oh, Chris Watts was standing right there, watching, helping, being the concerned husband. Concerned husband. I'll let you sit with that one. Officer James Frederick needed contacts, people who knew Shannan, people who could tell him whether this was normal, whether a woman who was 15 weeks pregnant with 2 toddlers just wandered off at 2 in the morning without her phone, without her medication, without her flip-flops. He asked Chris for names, and family, Chris was reluctant. He barely wanted to give them up. 4 names, that's all he offered, and one of those names, said almost like an afterthought, was "She's in Hawaii." She's in Hawaii. Like he already knew that distance was going to be a problem. But Officer Frederick called her anyway. And what happened next? I need you to pay close attention. Because this is not just a phone call. This is a woman unknowingly building a case in real time. This is grief and love and instinct colliding all at once. and it is one of the most important pieces of audio in this entire investigation. Now, before I play this, I want to give you some context about who Christina Meacham actually is, because she is not just a friend who knew Shannan from the internet, or from a LuLaRoe party, or from a Facebook group. No, no. This woman flew from Hawaii and lived inside that house for 2 months. 2 months. She did the school runs. She put those little girls to bed. She knew which stairs creaked. She knew that you had to tiptoe to the bathroom at night so you didn't wake up Bella and Celeste. She knew that opening the garage door in the morning would wake everyone up, so Chris used the front door. She knew the keypad code. She knew the latch was never on unless they were asleep. She knew this house the way only someone who truly loved Shannan would. And she knew Shannan the way only someone who had been friends for 14 years could. So when things stopped adding up, Christina's alarm bells didn't just ring, they screamed. Comment below, have you ever had a friend like that? Someone who would drop everything, fly across the world, and just show up for you? Because I want to know, and I want you to think about whether you are that friend to someone else. Type Day 1 in the comments if you have a friend like Christina in your life.
Now, here's what I want you to listen for in this call. And I'm going to give you these points now, before the audio, because I don't want you to miss them. Number 1, Christina says that when Chris came to North Carolina in that 5th week, he was cold. He wouldn't touch Shannan, wouldn't kiss her, sat on a separate couch, wouldn't even ask about the baby. Now, think about that. 5 weeks alone. Then he shows up to his pregnant wife and his 2 little girls, and he is cold. What happened in those 5 weeks? We know the answer. Her name is Nicole Kessinger, but Christina didn't know that yet. She's just describing a man who came back from 5 weeks alone and was suddenly someone else. Number 2, Christina says Chris told Shannan they were not compatible. Not compatible. This is a man who married this woman, built a house with her, had 2 children with her, had a 3rd on the way, and suddenly, after 5 weeks alone, they're not compatible? Where did he learn that phrase? Because that doesn't sound like Chris Watts. That sounds like someone who had been having very long conversations with someone who helped him reframe his entire life. Number 3. And this one is the detail that most people fly right past. Christina mentions the flip-flops. She says that Shannan's flip-flops were right beside the front door, and that Shannan never left the house without those flip-flops unless she was dressing up. Family, Shannan came home at 1:48 in the morning. Her flip-flops were by the door. She never left that house again. I'll let that land. Now, I also want to ask you something, and this is the question I want you sitting with during this entire recording. We talk a lot about red flags in relationships. We make videos about them. We share posts about them. We send them to our friends. But how many of us actually act on them? Shannan was calling Christina from across an ocean, telling her that something was wrong, that Chris was distant, that he didn't want the baby, that he said they weren't compatible, that something had shifted in him. And Christina, being the loving, rational friend that she is, told her to give him space, talk to him, fight for the marriage, because that's what you do, right? That's what we're all taught to do. And I'm not blaming Christina, not for 1 second, because nobody could have predicted what Chris Watts was capable of. But I want you to ask yourself honestly, in your own life, in your own relationships, are you paying attention? Are the people around you paying attention to you? Because sometimes the people who love us see things before we see them ourselves. Type "pay attention" in the comments if this is hitting you right now, because I think we all need that reminder sometimes. Okay, family, I also want to point out one more thing before we get into this audio. Christina says something near the end of this call that I think is the most quietly devastating line in the entire recording. She says, and I'm going to paraphrase here, she says that she doesn't think Chris has it in him. She doesn't think Chris has it in him. This is a woman who lived in that house, watched him with those girls, watched him be a husband, and she is sitting on the phone with a police officer talking about her missing best friend, and she still is defending Chris Watts, because that's how good he was at hiding it. And that is the part of this case that never stops being terrifying to me. Not the crime scene, not the confession, not the letters from prison. The fact that a woman who was inside that house, who knew that family deeply, could not see it coming. What does that tell us about how well some people can hide who they really are? Oh, that question keeps me up at night, and I think it should keep all of us up at night. All right, family, I've kept you long enough. We are about to play this recording, and I want you to do something for me while you listen. I want you to forget everything you know about this case for a moment. Forget the outcome, forget the guilty plea, forget the prison. Listen to this call as if you are hearing it in real time. August 13th, 2018. Shannan is just missing. Nobody knows anything yet. And tell me, just from this call alone, what does your gut tell you? Drop it in the comments. I want your raw, unfiltered reaction. No wrong answers, just your gut. And when the recording is done, stay with me, because I have some thoughts on specific moments in this call that I think are going to completely change how you hear it. Don't go anywhere. Like this video right now, not for the algorithm, not for me, but for Shannan, for Bella, for Celeste, and for baby Nico. They deserve to be remembered. They deserve for this family to keep showing up. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on notifications, because the next few videos on this channel, family, I'm telling you, you do not want to miss what's coming. Let's get into it.
Hello?
Hi, is this Christina?
Yes.
Hi, Christina. This is Officer James Frederick, Colorado PD. How are you?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm calling in reference to Shannan. And I was wondering if you had any information that you could give me.
So, hold on just a second. Let me... Hold on. Baby, where?
She had a...
Hold on. I'll go there. Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
So Shannan and Chris, so Shannan went on vacation, she went on vacation for like 6 weeks, to North Carolina. And, everything was okay between them until he came back, on the 5th week.
Okay.
Come be with them, to go be with them for a week. And he was different with her. He was cold to her. They normally, because I stayed with them last year for 2 months while she was in surgery. I had to have surgery, and
you had to have surgery, or she did?
I'm sorry?
You had to have surgery, or she did?
She did.
Okay.
She did. She had to have surgery, so I flew from Hawaii and stayed with her for 2 months,
okay,
helping her with the kids and everything in the house and whatnot. They were normally loving, caring. It's the first time that I really got to meet, Chris. They seem to have a good relationship. But fast forward to when he went back to North Carolina, she started calling me, telling me I don't recognize him. He's not talking to me, he's not touching me, he's not kissing me, he's pushing me away. He doesn't want anything to do with me. Little by little they spoke. And things started coming out, and he said that he didn't want the baby. She's pregnant. She's 16 months pregnant.
Right.
16
So,
months pregnant.
one sec. She was telling you all this stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
She confided on me. We've been friends for 14 years.
Okay.
She confided on me a lot, and she could call me in the middle of the night because I'm 6 hours different from North Carolina.
Yep. Chris didn't want the baby?
Yes, that's what she said. That Chris did not want the baby.
Okay.
That he was scared. That he didn't want another baby. That just wanted to stay with the two girls. But things just started developing from there. Like, you know, he was not compatible. She texted me and she's like, he's saying we're not compatible anymore. I don't understand what that means, you know, because they were fine before she left. And she was alone for 5 weeks, and then he comes back and saying these things, right?
Yep.
He said that he couldn't do this anymore. Like, he wanted pretty much, like, he will say, no, I want to work on this, and I want to make things work, and then other days he's like, I'm done. I can't do this. You know, so she was struggling a lot, and that's something that she's not. She was really, really, really struggling with everything that was going on. But the last time that I spoke with her, they have talked. They have found out the sex of the baby, which was a boy, and she was super excited about it because he said, if I ever have a child, I just want a boy. I don't want another girl. So he thought that this was going to be good for them. And he said that he was willing to go into therapy with her. And she even told me that she had plans to go to Aspen for the weekend, this next weekend on Friday, with him to try to reconnect and try to make things work and find a common ground. If not, then she was done. Like, she couldn't fight if he was not going to fight for their marriage. It was very weird because this just came out of the blue to all of us. Like, when she told me the first time, I was like, what are you talking about? That's not Chris. That's not who he is. That just started doing things that didn't make no sense to me.
When was the last time you spoke with her?
I spoke with her on Saturday. Hold on, let me look at the time. I can go look. Yeah, it was Friday, the last time I talked to her, because she was in Arizona, and she had just landed from Arizona, and she wanted me to know the news of the sex of the baby, and that she had talked to Chris, and that they were going to try to work things out, and wanted to tell me about the plans that she had.
Okay.
The last time, because she was traveling after that, so I didn't bother her.
How often would you speak with her?
Every day.
And you haven't spoke with her since Friday because she was on her trip? Yeah,
she was in training.
How would you describe their relationship?
She was in charge.
Okay.
She was the person in charge, and he followed through. She did what she wanted, but they seemed to be loving and caring, and they used to, be very lovey-dovey. So that's why when she started expressing herself that he wasn't anymore, that was kind of weird to me, because that's not him. He did mention to her that he was tired of not being able to even hang something on the wall, that his opinion didn't matter, that he wanted to stay in the things that will happen or whatnot. Like, because she normally is in charge. She normally is the one that keeps everything going. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he expressed that that's one of the reasons that, he didn't think that things were working out, that he was tired of that he didn't have any say.
And has she, so would you describe her, was she your best friend?
Yes, she's like my sister.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't have never stopped my life for 2 months for someone I didn't love.
I understand that.
I took my daughter with me. Last year, and I went and took care of her baby girls, took them to school. I was her right-hand person until she was healthy enough, and I left in October.
Do you think she would withhold information from you?
No, I think I was one of the first person that she spoke to about what was going on between Chris and her.
Okay.
She confided on me a lot.
So, she just started telling you this stuff within the last couple weeks, or has it been a couple months?
No, this just happened. When he went to North Carolina, she was blindsided completely. She's like, I don't understand what's going on. And I was like, I don't either, because you guys were just fine.
And did she ever say that they had any other issues in their marriage prior to this?
No.
Did she say if they fought a lot or argued, or if anything ever was physical, anything like that?
Nothing. They never went physical into each other. I mean, every marriage fights. Right? That's just part of human nature. But they pretty much keep it very civil because of the kids.
Okay.
I just, it makes no sense, everything that is going on right now. Because he was always very, like, he put them first all the time.
He put the kids first?
All of them. Like, they were their world, He put them all first. He was hand and feet for all of them, and all of a sudden he was aggravated by the kids playing around him. He was getting, fussy with everyone. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to touch her. He didn't want to, she would text me and she would send me a picture saying, like, there's where he's at. He's in the other side of the couch. Like, he's on another couch. Like, he's not even touching me. He haven't even asked me how the baby's doing. He didn't want to know anything about it.
And this is all recent, huh?
Yes. Yeah. This just happened. Like whatever happened in those 5 weeks that he was by himself, he came back to her, another man. And that worries me, because that's not him. Even when Nikki went by the house, things didn't make sense to me at all, because it just, she said routine. She said routine, she's OCD. She has everything in order. She literally has a plan for everything. She's not a person to derive from those plans. Like, this is what she's going to do, this is what's going to happen. The kids have times they go to take naps. They, things go a certain way. She has a routine. Even what she wears, even the flip-flops that she wears, is a routine for her. The door is never, that latch on the door, 2 months that I was living there, that was never on. Only when they went to sleep. Like, literally went to sleep.
You're talking about on the front door?
Yes. Yes. Because when Nikki got there, she was on the phone, with me when she got there and couldn't really access the house and couldn't get a hold of Shannan. And she's like, Christina, I know you talk all the time with her. Have you heard from her? I was like, no, because it was the morning for me, right?
Right.
And I was going to catch up with her today because I knew she had just come back at 2 o'clock in the morning, from her trip. And I literally, okay, well, open the door, because it's a keypad, and she normally has the same keypad, number on it. Just open the door and you go check it out. And she tried, and the latch was on. And that latch is never on. her flip-flops were right beside her door, which she never leaves without. Like, that's her flip-flops. Unless she wants to dress up, that is what she wears. And the latch was on, which doesn't make any sense to me because she comes in and out of that door every day. And I mean, even I just don't understand. I don't understand everything that's going on because nothing adds up. The routine was completely off, and that's not normal. In 2 months that I stayed with her, the routine never changed. It's always the same. And I tell you this, it's out of character for her to leave the house without her phone, without telling anyone anything, with the kids, without their important medicine, which is scare off. And if you ever go to her Facebook account, you'll notice that there was an issue back home about the kids' safety because of allergies, and that they were not being taken care of properly. There was she is protective of those kids, and for her to leave the house without no security, no nothing, it's just completely out of character.
Did she ever say if they're having any financial trouble or anything like that? She always commented that, that they had, that they struggle sometimes. She was working really hard on her business, and he was also working. She spent a lot because she kept giving into the business to be able to continue to grow, which she was. But I know that they struggle a little bit, but I don't know to what point. Okay.
But I do know that they were struggling.
Did she ever say she had a plan on leaving him or anything like that? Or was she wanting to work on the marriage?
She wanted the marriage to work. Like, I was, she really did not understand what was going on, and I was the one telling her, I was like, listen, it's the first really big issue that you guys have ever had because I've not, never heard anything else from them before. And I told him, I was like, you just need to talk to him. You need to give him space. You need to, work things out. This is your marriage. This is your family. So we talked a lot about that because, she's Italian. She immediately would have said, something out of the blue, But
right.
She was more like, if he's not willing to work with our marriage, then our marriage is over. I can't fight for him without him. And the last time I talked to him, to her, she said he is willing to go to, therapy because I told him that therapy might be able to help you guys. To try to get things out of the chest because Chris is very, very quiet and he doesn't express his emotions. Like, you don't see many emotions from Chris. And, maybe that will help him out. And he said that he had agreed, but I haven't talked to Chris. I've never been close to Chris like that, so.
Right.
But I just know that if they had a fight while she was there, when she got there at 2:00 in the morning, the girls were woken up. I mean, you couldn't make a noise in that house. At night, because the girls are so light sleeper, even during the day. Like when I stayed there, I had to go on tippy toes to the bathroom, so I wouldn't creak the floor or the stairs or nothing. And forget about opening a garage early in the morning. We always had to kind of like go around the side. I will go downstairs. Sometimes Chris was there, getting his food ready so he can get out the door, and he will go through the front door. Because we didn't want to wake up the kids.
So he didn't usually go out the garage in the mornings?
No. He will come home, and sometimes will come through the garage. He will come through the garage, but normally in the morning he will go through the front door.
Okay.
Because, just opening the garage door, or even turning the car, like, for me, turning in the car, like, one day we while I was there, we went to Vegas to a training,
together, and we had to leave like at wee hours, like at 3 o'clock in the morning. Even turning on that car in the morning, we were afraid that the kids were going to wake up.
Right.
And it wasn't in the garage; it was right outside the garage. So it's like right on top. So they will hear everything.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. It's completely. I know for sure she will not leave like that.
So I just stopped her.
And she would have never. She would have never lived like that. It's just something doesn't add up to me. From all the years that I know her, she's always been. You could rely on what she was going to do, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't think Chris has it on him. I think Chris is a good guy, so it's kind of hard for me to even imagine that he will hurt his family.
Right.
Especially those girls.
So he was an active father. Good.
Definitely. Yes. Very active father. Very caring, very loving, very attentive to them. He even took care of my daughter.
All right, I'll give him a call.
When I was gone for a couple of days. He's very, very, in that part, he was a good husband, he was a good father. That's why this changed into the kids not even wanting to be around him, wanting mommy, and him getting upset just by the kids playing. That's not him.
That all started with the marriage problems as well?
Yeah.
Good.
That all started all together when he went back to North Carolina after 5 weeks of being away from each other. I do not know what happened on those 5 weeks, but something changed in him, because that was not him. When he was telling me about everything that he was doing and the things he was saying, it just doesn't make any sense.
What's his name?
That was not him.
Okay.
That's a different Chris.
And
he even deleted his Facebook page. Why would you delete your Facebook page?
When did he do that?
Well, I just find out today, and one of the other girls said, "Oh, that's been like a week ago or so that he deleted his Facebook page."
So you're friends with Nikki?
I'm friends with Nikki and Cassie and Addie and Sam. We are all a group of friends. Yes.
And do you guys all do the Laval thing together?
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to remember, your name is on that vehicle.
Yeah.
Somebody has to go.
Is there
That's how I
anything?
met the other.
Is there anything else that you can think of
Your vehicle. Okay, so
that I should know
call
about?
that person back, and if they do that, then we might have some issues here. Okay.
What you said?
Thank you.
Is there anything else you can think of that I should know about?
And you said what, he lives in Firestone?
I can't think of anything. It will be speculation.
Does he go to school or is he out of school?
I can say that some people have come in and said, "Well, did he have someone else?" I've never saw anything like that. You know.
Do you know where she would go?
Yeah, bye.
She will go to one of us. If she was ever going to leave, she will contact one of us. And I have called and contacted everyone that I know in Colorado
Yeah.
and not Colorado, and no one has heard from her or know nothing of her. This is not her. She will plan things. She's not a person to just pick up things and go. This is a person that is meticulous, and she plans everything. She just doesn't go. And she knows that my house is always open. Always. Because I told her, it's like, if you ever need a break, you know, you can come over here. It's just hard to start all over here because, you know, it's expensive, you know?
Right.
To live in Hawaii. But she would have never leave. Not like that.
Okay.
Ever. That is not her. Doesn't matter how bad things were. She has rules. You know, she has a way of doing things.
Right. So if you hear from her or anything, obviously her and Chris, there's something going on in their marriage. If you come into contact with her for any reason or you hear anything, please have her contact us. We just want to make sure that she's safe, and we're not, let her know that we're not worried that she's gone or what she's doing. We just want to make sure that she's safe. As long as we can guarantee her safety, that's what our most important thing that we're looking out for is that she's safe. So if you hear from her, doesn't matter the time of day, I'll give you a phone number to call and have her contact us. Or if you hear from her, you can contact us. Would you do that for me?
Of course.
Okay. And so when you're ready, I'll give you a phone number.
Okay. What's the phone number?
720-652-4222. And that's to our dispatch center, and that's answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And just ask to speak with a Frederick officer, and one will call you.
Okay.
Our main concern is her safety, so.
652-4222.
Say it again.
720-652-4222.
That's correct. So, if you hear anything from her or are able to talk to her, either you call us or have her call us. We just want to make sure that she's safe, okay?
Okay.
And if there's anything that you can think of, this phone number that I called you from is our police department. During business hours, it's answered, so that's 8 to 5 Colorado time. Outside of that, it may not be answered. You can try to call it. Otherwise, you'll have to contact that dispatch number, and an officer will contact you.
Okay.
Okay? And if you think of...
All I know is that this is not her.
Right.
Never live like this. And she will never leave the kids like this. Like, it just won't happen. It's not her.
If you think of anything else that comes to mind, please don't hesitate to call us, okay?
Will do.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.